Well, it's almost time for swap, and I haven't started on my Beads of Courage box yet. I did stave construction last time. I'm going to do something a little bit different this time. I'm going to be using Cepo, red oak, and I believe this to be maple. It came out of an old piano. If it's not maple, if it's not, it's poplar, and if it's poplar, it is the hardest poplar I've ever seen because I can't put my fingernail in it. That's why I think it's maple. Anyway, these are the woods I'm going to use. What am I going to do? Well, you're just going to have to tag along and find out. So check this out. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these to 1.5 inches. I'm going to make them a little bit wider than 1.5 inches, but not much. I need to make some measurements on this piece and see where I want to make my cuts. Now I need to start cutting them into 7-inch pieces and fitting them together. When I'm ready for that, I'll come back. I may have enough, I don't know. Okay, I've got all the blocks done. What I need to do now is make sure these are all the same thickness and nice and flat. If they don't come out wide enough after that, I have a plan. I'll put some thin pieces in between. But we'll see how that goes. So when I get these all sanded up, I'll come back. I want to put some accent pieces in. So I've got some thin pieces of walnut and Cepo, and I'm going to cut them to length. What I decided to do is put the oak here with a thin Cepo there. Walnut there. Feels like that. So I'm going to glue these 4 up. Billy, what in the world are you doing? I don't have any idea. Flying by the seat of my britches as always. Actually, I'm going to glue these into a block as accurately as I can. I've got a little wiggle. I have a little wiggle room, but not a whole lot. So I'm going to glue these up, and then I'm going to cut 45s. Why? You'll see. All right, I'll glue this one together to show you how I'm doing it. Then I'll do the others off camera. Now what this does is it helps hold this. I've got my small square clamp down over here, and it helps make this nice and tight. I've got some fudge factor here, so this isn't terribly critical. Oh well, I left myself some room to play. Alright, anyway, that's the process. Well, boys and girls, as is not uncommon for me, I made a slight error in my calculations. I made these roughly so that, well, let me just show you. This is the diagram I'm working off of. And I made these to that length. I need to make them to that length, or width. So I need to add more wood. So I'm going to add some walnut. Now I will do a test fit to see if I have enough. And I'm probably not gonna, because some of these are not the right thickness. So let me get these all the same thickness and I'll come back. Okay, I've got them milled up. I'm gonna glue them up just like I did last time. And then tomorrow, after they're all cured up, I'll come back and we'll start from there. Okay, I've got these all glued up now. I've cut the 45s. I didn't show that. Now what I'm going to do is trim them to length. Starting by squaring one edge. Now since I've got material between all of the pieces so that it looks the same when I start turning it, I'm going to put a piece of that in there as well. And when I'm ready to glue those up, I'll come back. Okay, I've got them glued up. So now I'm going to turn it over. This clamp on. Good squeeze out all the way around. Everything looks good. So now we wait till that dries and then I'll start turning it around. I've cut this piece of 2x4 and I've leveled it up. It sticks out about a ½ inch. So what I'm going to do now is, and this is relatively flush, and this is about a 30-second low over here, but that's okay. I'll be turning that off anyway. So it's flush pretty much all the way around. So I'm going to hot glue this in place. I'm not terribly worried about it moving side to side because these pins, or the white pieces that are glued in, are holding it on this side and on that side. That should be somewhat secure. Now I will let this glue set up, and what I want to do is I want to find center so I know where to put this. Then I have to turn it over and figure out something to put on here. I'll probably just hot glue a piece of 1x4 over here, and then I will put this between centers and start making it round so that I can chuck it up. And I've got this set up here, running about 640 RPM. You just want to make this a little bit round. That's good enough for now. Before I put too much stress on this piece of plywood, I want to turn a tenon on here for my chuck. So we'll do that next. Okay, let's get to making this a little more round. I can turn the speed up some, about 9:30. This is turning relatively evenly. I'm really happy about that. I don't want to go down a whole lot more. Almost a little bit right there. But what we're going to do now to make sure this is nice and flat, okay, the rest of that will stand up when I power sand it later. Now I will take this off and see if we can start hollowing it out without breaking the tenon. Face this off a little bit because it's not quite even. That one spot's a little high there. I'm going to do this using a carbide, and I'm going to put it up on its edge a little bit so it cuts a little more gently. I may have better look with a bowl gouge. I'm very apprehensive about this. I don't want to hurt it, but I do need to make the inside of this round. That gives me an idea. I don't know why I didn't think of this a while ago. I can use the same kind of cutter on my elbow tool. So that's what we're going to do. And then we'll just take it easy. So when I get all set up for that, I'll come back. So I've got my tool set at a slight negative rake. I'm still cutting just above center. And let's see what we can do. I want to be real gentle. It's working. I knew it would, but I mean, it is working. I want to take this edge, this corner to depth, so I know how much I can go all the way down. For all intents and purposes, that's round. I want to take a measurement. I want the inside to be about 5 inches if I can get it. Okay, that's even better. That's 5 3/8. So it'll get even just a little bit bigger when I scrape it. I'm not all the way to the block yet, and I don't know that I really want to get up there. Man, that's getting close. Okay, got my teardrop scraper on there. See what we can do. I reduced the angle of attack a little bit so I can try to get it just a little smoother. Okay, I'm going to take a break for a minute and catch my breath. Okay, I've got this sanded on the inside up to where I've turned it, and I've sanded it to 320. I'm going to apply some Axe, and it was initially named second step. It's actually first step. It's food safe. It is pure virgin tung oil and beeswax. This will seal the pores, protect the wood, and I don't have to worry about the child that gets this being in contact with any harmful VOCs, because there aren't any in pure tung oil or beeswax. I will leave this to soak in for about 20 minutes, and then I will come back and buff out the inside. See if we can rub some of this out. Yes, I'm using cloth. It's a piece of an old cotton sheet. I've folded it up. It's not wrapped around my hands or my fingers in any way. If it jerks it out of my hand, I'm going to be fine. I don't like the way the paper towels shred when I'm doing something like this, and I get a better finish with it anyway. Ooh, look how that looks. That's pretty. Nice and smooth. Protection for the little one's hands. Now let me figure out what I'm going to do for the bottom. What I think I want to do is I want to turn a piece that will sit inside this just a little, and then I can turn the bottom around. So let me see what I can find. What? You mean I don't have that planned out yet? Nope, I don't. I'm going to turn this just proud, and then I'm going to turn a lip on the inside. Now we need to see if that's going to fit. No, let me get a quick measurement. That should be the inside right there. Didn't act like it was, did it? That's enough on the inside. Just like that. Alright, so I'll take this over to the sander, sand that dimple out and these rough edges, and then I'll come back and glue it in. Well, I didn't get quite all of the dimple out, but enough, I think. So now I'm going to put this up with a soft touch, and I will leave this sit overnight and come back tomorrow, and we will put a mortise in here, about 100 millimeter, 100 or 130 for my big chuck jaws. So we'll put a mortise in here and turn it around and finish the inside, and then we'll start on the top. In the meantime, I'm going to start gathering material for the top and see what I want it to look like. So I'm going to go sketch some things up while this is drying, and I'll come back tomorrow. Let's true this up a little bit, make these even. Glue joint looks good. Now I will make my mark for my mortise. I thought I would work on this knob. I glued up some walnut and some African mahogany, and this is what I'm going to make the knob out of. Now I want to define the shape. Got me a little decorative bead right there. So now I'll turn it over and put it in the chuck. And when I'm ready for that, I'll come back. And now it's ready to engrave. I will be engraving the Beads of Courage logo in it, but I won't do that until I get this mounted in the lid. Okay, got my face shield on. I'm going to hollow this very, very gently. Taking very small bite. I just want to get out to the round. I'm not there yet. Pretty smooth, just like before. We will sand it up. That is done. I'm going to apply the Axe tongue oil again. I'm going all the way in as well. I know inside down to the bottom's already got a coat on it, but Okay, now I'm gonna set my timer, let this sit for 20 minutes, and then I will come back and we will buff out the inside, and I can get on to turning the lid. Inside's all done, polished up. I'll let this dry overnight, and then I will come back tomorrow and we will see if we can finish the lid. Well, it's a loose lid, but it does fit. Okay, I applied some gold embellishing wax to the grain of this oak, and I really like how that came out. We're pretty much done with the bottom of the lid, so I'm going to apply this axe tung oil like I did to the inside. So I'll be back. Okay, because this is tung oil, I'm going to let this dry overnight, and then I will come out tomorrow and I'll buff this one more time, and then we can glue the lid on it. Now, this is basically going to be my finish. Okay, so now I'm going to put this on the outside. We will let this dry for a little while, and then we'll come back and we'll buff it all out. It's been a little over 20 minutes, time to buff this up. Now I need to turn it around and finish the bottom. Let that sit 20 more minutes, and we'll buff it up. It's got some really nice chatoyance. Now I will leave, like I am the lid, I will leave this to finish curing overnight. And then when I come back tomorrow morning, we'll finish this thing up. Okay, this is done. I need to go engrave my logo in the bottom. This is done as well, and the knob is done. All that's left to do is glue this in and engrave Beads of Courage logo in here and engrave the bottom of that box, and it's done. Well, here's this year's Beads of Courage box. I really like it. Got 5 species of wood in it. Got the lid done. The Beads of Courage logo engraved in it. Hard to see, but there's gold embellishing wax in the oak quartz. And there's vintage aqua and coral in these. The inside is rather plain, but it's nice and round, and everything's coated and protected with a big mixture of beeswax and pure tung oil. So this is completely food safe. It's not going to hurt the child. I've got the Beads of Courage logo and my logo burned in the bottom. So that's it, all done. Ready for wake up. I'm really happy with it. Again, it's not stayed construction at all. It's laminated, and I like it. So what am I going to do next? I don't know yet. I haven't really decided. I don't know. A friend of mine, Scott Tague, sent me a piece of catalpa. I've never turned catalpa. I may attack that one. I will be doing that in the next few weeks regardless. And I've got 2 pieces of mesquite crotch sitting over there waiting on me to get to them. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Y'all come back. Oh, and if you're at SWAT, you see me, say hi.